Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Randy and Shy Time. Shy Time, before I get started, this is the time we take a station break to let them know that they need to subscribe, like, dislike, share, comment, do something to engage with the show so it can reach more people, so the family can grow, and we can give them more boxing content. And also, I want to give a special shout out to our new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate it highly. Now back to our regular scheduled program. Shy, what's on your mind, man? What you want to get off your mind and put on the record, man? Talk to me. Tell me something.
Man, Randy, I was sitting over here watching Gilligan's Island, and I was watching that episode where everybody was trying to court Marianne. And as you know, Marianne is the truth. I don't know who's with Ginger, but it's always Marianne. And I was daydreaming about Marianne and just thinking about her. I started to think about
Mhm.
somebody else that's daydreaming, and it reminded me of something that just happened a couple days ago, and that's the T.O. versus Shakur, that whole press conference that happened a couple days ago. So I was like, yes, T.O. was daydreaming about how that fight's going to go. Let me holler at Randy, and let's go ahead and put this on the record. So, the press conference was exactly what we thought. There was nothing major about it. It was introduction to them fighting each other. I am happy that both of them are fighting so-called legit cats, and they're doing this at 140. So people have moved beyond the 130, 135 pound weight division, whatever may have been holding everybody up. Whoever was considered to be top cats there, who didn't fight each other, they've all moved to different divisions where they now are talking about fighting each other, which I love. And this is what boxing is about. This is what this generation of boxing needs. However, Teofimo thinks that boxing needs another gesture. I mean, this dude is, I don't know what to say about him. He needs to find whatever role is going to work beyond this gesture role. He talks stuff, he tries too hard, he tries to be whatever he is, but it just really, it's out of place. It doesn't match. His dad is more real than him. But obviously, Teal does what he can to try to hype up the fight, so we get it. It's obvious he can do all of those things. Um, as this fight is developing, and as it's going to take place again, this is at 140 pounds. So now we're getting a lot of uh I won't say top level, but according to how it is set up now, a lot of uh top level people in the rankings, as the rankings are concerned, by the different divisions, fighters at 140, 147, 154, which is good. I love it. This is good for boxing. This is good. So everybody can just weed everybody out. And we have to remember Keyshawn Davis, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be at 140 as well, or he is now going to be campaigning at 140, which is good. So we do have a lot of different individuals there who do have talent at 140. Um, in that press conference, it was flat, it was false. The core didn't really need to egg on anything, didn't need to engage T.O. T.O. was trying to carry it because he thought he needed to sell the fight. He was interviewed, I think, after the fight, or I'm sorry, after the conference, by a couple of media cats and YouTubers, and he was contradicting himself. He sounded silly. It doesn't matter. What I want to speak specifically about is that T.O. does, at least what we have seen in the past, for major fights, he does show up. None of us have has denied T.O.'s boxing ability. T.O. is a good boxer. My criticism, which you guys have always heard since he's come into boxing, is he's more athletic than an actual traditional boxer. And it's his athleticism that allows him to win the day. And I still stand by that. I still stand by that. I do feel that Theo could have beaten Cambosis, but he didn't. And Cambosis beat him sure just simply off of the fact of basic boxing fundamentals. Cambosis is not the greatest fighter either, but he is good. He has certain fundamentals straight. Teal relies way too much on his athleticism and doing certain things that Cambosis was able to capitalize on, and that's how he had his loss. Now he's about to fight against who I consider at least at their division, a master boxer. Shakur is leagues above him. Um, there's no way that Tio can beat Shakur. I feel he knows that, but he has to try to make the fight the most that he can, and then at the end they'll shake hands. He wants to be a millionaire. He wants to get whatever money. So he has to fight this guy. But Shakur needs this fight so that he himself can be pressed by someone who's really trying to press him hard and show all the skills he has. Because I do believe that Shakur can go to another level. I do believe Shakur still is better than what we see. Um, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight just so that precedence of good fighters fighting against other good fighters can be maintained. Talk to me, Randy.
Well, you mentioned that To has good footwork. I kind of beg the difference, and the reason why I kind of beg the difference. I'm gonna probably sound like a hater because sometimes when you speak what you see, sometimes people interpret it as being a hater because you're not speaking for the guy that they want you to speak for. But I'm speaking from what I see. Um, uh, and it's not about race or nothing like that because if it's two different races, then you're going to say being prejudiced or just going with a certain race. But if it's the same race, now you're gonna find a problem with that because I'm not speaking for the guy that you want me to speak for. But I just said that to say this: when I used to race motorcycles, we always had this saying, "You fast when you're by yourself." You feel what I'm saying? So I said that to say this about Tio. Does Tio really have good footwork, or he just looked like he got good footwork when he end up with somebody that don't have good footwork? Like the guys that he's been in there with are not as athletic. I think Cambosos beat him because Cambosos didn't fall for the antics. He sat back, was patient. All the smoke and mirrors, he didn't go for him. He was kind of like reserved. Okay, when you get through doing your dance, when you get through acting a fool, when you get through trying to do stuff that throw me off my game, I'm gonna be sitting right here waiting to punch you right in your face. Sometimes when you get caught up in those kind of things, it throw you off your game because you looking at him doing jumping jacks and jumping rope and doing the electric slide and all that when he's supposed to be fighting. So you get caught up in that. And I think that's what T.O. do. T.O. does a lot of crazy movements that we never really see in boxing. But of course, when certain people do it, it's called great footwork. It's called great movement. But when other people do it, it's just another day in the park, if you will. Now with this fight with him and Shakur, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm not taking nothing away from T.O. T.O. is good. He's good. But is T.O. actually great? Is the question. Is T.O. considered one of the greats? Um, I don't think he really put himself against the greats. Um, I know they dodged Devin. People gonna say I'm a Devin lover, whatever, but they dodged Devin because Devin got better footwork and T.O. ain't able to do what he normally would do with somebody else. Shakur don't really have great footwork, but he got great judge of distance. So with him having great judge of distance, it makes up for it because he already moving. He already almost out of range, so he don't have to get to. He don't have to waste a whole lot of movement. Versus a Devin does good movement. He move a lot. Uh, so this gonna be a chess match regardless. But once Shakur figure the puzzle out, it's gonna be a long night for T.O. We know that when he did the Jamel Herring. Shakur is coming to make a statement. He's coming to make a statement. And he been chasing T.O. for a long time. And he backed him in a corner and he had to take the fight. They've been running from him for a long time. Now they're trying to make it sound like he's the one initiated the fight. I heard Senior say, "I'm glad Shakur took the fight." Y'all took the fight because he put y'all on the spot, and y'all was put on the spot in the wrong place, and y'all had the honor talking about you will take the fight or look crazy. They're still talking like they don't want to fight Devin. But Senior did say this. I heard him saying, I'm paraphrasing. Um, time out for us, time out for fighters not want to lose the O. We need to start fighting the best fighters because that's the only way you're gonna get better. And and whether you win or lose, at least you'll get better. So basically, what I was hearing, and I can go back and listen to it, and we can do another video on it. But basically, what I was hearing was, even if we lose this fight, we still gonna keep pushing and trying to get better as we continue on. We didn't want to fight, but since we got it, we're gonna do the best we can. What say you?
Man, Randy, man, you said a lot there, man, and I think everything you said is definitely something that should be considered. A lot of heat came from you, a lot of weight came from you, and a lot of truths. One thing I want to clear for the record, and I do apologize to everyone if I did say at some point in time that Tio had good footwork. That was a misstatement by me. He absolutely does not have good footwork. His footwork is trash. He has athleticism. He is able to move around athletically, but as a boxer and using
And that might have
boxing,
been what you said. That might have been what you said. So we might have. But see, we don't mind. We don't mind having disagreements. We don't mind. You feel what I'm saying?
no,
Because
absolutely.
we here to teach and learn with each other. You know what I'm saying? And I might have been the one misinterpret your athleticism for footwork. So at least you apologize for that, and I'm apologizing if I said it. So the critics, the haters, or whatever, we done already corrected. So you ain't got nothing to hate on. You ain't got nothing to try to scrutinize us about. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, but absolutely, yeah, you're good. But I need you to say that for what I'm about to say right now. So get ready to say everything you said again. And that is Shakur absolutely does have good footwork. His footwork is good. That is where we 100% disagree on. And I do believe that this particular fight with Teal attempting to come at him with his athleticism is going to allow the world to see Shakur's footwork. Because not only do you just back up and you just move to the side, there are different things that you do angle wise. You dip under certain punches and you twist your body a certain way uh, to spin a certain way so you can be in a better angle. Bernard Hopkins is very good at that. And this is classic boxing stuff. Shakur has that. He's able to do that. That's literally what Devin Haney does, and why we say Devin Haney has good footwork. Devin Haney's footwork is also tied into his athleticism, so he gets away with certain things. But there are certain ways to place your feet, to move your feet to the right, to the left, depending on who you're fighting, how to make very short angles and make quick bursts. When you're a boxer, that's what Devin does. But Shakur definitely is able to do that. He just hasn't been with a lot of people that have allowed that to be shown. But I believe this fight will allow that. If he does fight Devin, I think that will come out all the way because both of them will have to match their footwork and the different angles that they do. Go ahead, Randy. Give it to me.
Well, I
Repeat what
just
you
like I
just
said,
said before.
I just said, yeah, exactly. I am, and I am, and I am, and I am, and I'm holding it on. I'm holding on. I see Devin footwork different than I see Shakur footwork. I see Devin footwork because he do a lot of moving. That's why I say Devin got good footwork, and I say Shakur. I don't see it as good footwork. I just think his IQ is to the point where he can position himself ahead of time, so he don't have to do a whole lot of moving. So he don't really have to show no footwork because he don't move as much. Shakur don't move as much, but he's positioned. He positioned himself to the point where he do very minimal moving, and he's accomplishing the same thing that Devin is accomplishing with the movement. Well, go ahead.
I definitely see what
Did I just say the
you're
same
saying.
thing I said?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely see what you're saying, but I totally disagree. And that's kind of where it is. That's all I got on that.
With that being said, man, with that being said, I might change my mind one of these days if he convinced me,
Yeah, like
maybe
in the next 10
on the
seconds,
record
right
or
now.
off the
Right
record,
now, right now. Change your mind right
because
now.
we, because we're that type. If he can give me enough information, or we can talk about this off the record, so I can see it, or we might talk about it with y'all on the record, and
Amen.
I might change. So don't say I be flip flopping. We are not above correction in our
Amen.
circle
Amen. Amen.
with enough
Amen.
information. With enough
Amen.
information, we're not gonna be stubborn and hold on to it to the end and know it's not so. So if you can
Man,
convince me, or you can show
you
me, I didn't not convince me, but if you can show me what you're
right.
saying and I see it, then I'm with you 100%. But
You
with
know,
that being
Randy, for
said,
years we have a saying, what's wrong with being wrong? For whatever reason, people don't like to be wrong. How can you be better? How can you grow? How can you learn? You know, without correction or without
exactly,
learning where you may have been wrong at. So we have zero issue with being wrong or being caught up. There's no ego here. So yeah,
exactly.
we're good.
No, no, none whatsoever. You know, like a lot of us as people, and some of us content creators, if we say it on this camera, can't nobody tell us we don't know what we're talking about. But for us, we know. If you tell us and we see it, and it makes sense, or you convince us, or you can show us the truth in it, we with it. We welcome it.
Amen.
We
Amen.
welcome it. We're not the people on here just because we behind the camera that we right, because it's all about just talking boxing. But we can go off into something else. With that being said, we're out of here like last year.
Peace.